They said marriage is for better or worse, but what happens when the worse comes with baby fat and stretch marks, and he suddenly can't stand you anymore? She broke down, then she bossed up, and when he saw her again, let's just say Karma had a six-pack. If you love good stories with a twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss out. All right, let's dive right into this one. Abuja was calm that morning. The sun was shining gently, the birds were singing, and everything looked beautiful. It was the perfect day for a wedding. Grace stood in front of the mirror, wearing her white wedding dress. Her eyes sparkled. She looked beautiful, and her heart was full of joy. Today she was getting married to the love of her life, Michael. Michael was a tall, handsome man with a bright smile. He worked in a big company in Abuja and was known for being smart and charming. He loved Grace, and Grace loved him deeply. Their wedding was small but lovely. Family and friends danced, laughed, and celebrated with them. People said they were the perfect couple. Grace believed it too. She believed that nothing could ever go wrong. After the wedding, life was sweet. Grace and Michael moved into a cozy apartment in Gwarimpa. They cooked together, watched movies together, and sometimes took long evening walks around their estate. Every night, Michael would kiss her forehead and say, "I love you, Grace." Everything was like a fairy tale. 6 months later, Grace found out she was pregnant. She was so happy that she cried. Michael was excited too. He carried her around the house, laughing and calling her Mama. They started planning for the baby together. They painted the baby room, bought baby clothes, and even picked names. But things started changing slowly. Grace was always tired. She couldn't cook like before. She couldn't go on walks. She started eating more, and her body began to change. She was gaining weight. Michael still smiled, but not like before. He stopped calling her Mama. He stopped helping in the house. He started coming home late. Sometimes he said it was work. Other times he didn't give any reason at all. Grace noticed the change. She asked him, "Michael, is everything okay?" He always answered, "I'm fine. You're just imagining things." But she wasn't imagining it. She felt it in her heart. The man who once loved her like a queen was slowly pulling away. When Grace finally gave birth to their baby boy, everything changed even more. Her body was heavier, her eyes had dark circles, and she hardly slept at night. Michael barely looked at her. One day, while she was breastfeeding the baby in the sitting room, Michael walked past her without even saying a word. That day, Grace knew something was wrong, very wrong, but she had no idea just how bad things were going to get. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Grace was doing her best to care for the baby. She woke up in the middle of the night to feed him, changed diapers, and sang him to sleep. She was tired all the time, but she still smiled when she looked at her child. But Michael had changed. He didn't smile much anymore. He no longer helped with anything in the house. He came home late almost every day. Sometimes it was past midnight. When Grace asked where he had been, he would snap at her. "Why are you always asking me questions?" he said one night, frowning. "I'm tired." Grace felt a sharp pain in her chest, but she said nothing. She was scared. She didn't want to fight. She just wanted her happy home back. One Saturday evening, Michael came home smelling of perfume that wasn't hers. Grace noticed it, but she stayed quiet. She didn't want to believe what her heart was telling her. But soon, the signs became too loud to ignore. Michael started locking his phone. He spent hours on calls in the car before coming inside. He laughed more on the phone than he did with her. He stopped eating her food and started giving excuses. Then, one evening, Grace saw it with her own eyes. She was in a taxi going to the market. At a traffic light in Woos, she saw Michael's car parked at the side of the road. She looked closer and saw him inside, with another woman. They were laughing and holding hands. Her heart broke into pieces. Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't cry in the car. She waited until she got home, placed her baby gently in his cot, and sat on the floor. Then the tears came, hot and heavy. She tried to talk to him that night. "Michael," she said softly, "what's happening to us?" He didn't even look at her. "I don't want to talk about this. Please," she begged, "if I've done something wrong, tell me. Let's fix it together." Michael stood up and walked away. "Grace, you're too fat. You've changed. You're not the same woman I married." His words hit her like a slap. She stood there, speechless. Her heart shattered again. She looked down at her body, the same body that carried his child, the same body that stayed up all night to care for their son. Michael didn't stop there. In the weeks that followed, he started sleeping out. He laughed loudly on phone calls with other women, even while Grace was in the same room. Then one morning, he left and never came back. He packed a few things and said, "I need a break." He didn't explain. He didn't look back. Grace was alone, alone with a baby, alone with pain, alone with a heart that still didn't understand how love could disappear so fast. But what Michael didn't know was that Grace was about to rise. This storm was only the beginning of her strength. Grace cried for 3 nights straight, not 3 full nights. She had to stop halfway each night to feed Junior and clean up baby poo that looked like mashed avocado. But in between bottles and burp cloths, she cried like she was in a Nigerian movie. She didn't eat much, except for chin-chin and ice cream, 2 things she said she'd never mix again after one serious stomach upset nearly sent her to heaven without warning. But one day, after crying into her cup of pap, something snapped. She looked in the mirror and said, "Grace, you cannot die because of man. Stand up and wipe your tears. Also wipe that baby cereal on your cheek." She laughed a little. That was the beginning. She started walking around the estate with Junior strapped to her back like a real Abuja mama. At first, the neighbours thought she was just doing exercise of sorrow, but after 2 weeks they saw changes. Her cheeks were coming back to shape. She even caught one fine uncle jogging past her one morning and greeting her twice. Good morning again." She smiled and thought, progress. Grace didn't stop there. She downloaded YouTube workout videos and nearly broke her back doing squats in the sitting room. Junior watched her with wide baby eyes like, "Mummy, are you okay? Should I call Grandma?" She joined an online group for women trying to lose baby weight. They named themselves Hot Mamas International, even though most of them were still struggling to climb stairs without sounding like a broken generator. Months passed. Grace lost weight. Her waist came back. Her skin started glowing. Even her edges came back, strong and full like they had gone to school and graduated with first class. One day, she looked in the mirror and screamed, "Ew, I'm fine." Even Junior clapped. But Grace didn't stop there. She turned her pain into purpose. She started a fitness page on Instagram called Fit with Grace, showing other women how she lost weight and found herself again. Her videos were funny. She danced with her baby, used Gary containers as dumbbells, and even made skits where she dragged her imaginary husband for losing sense. People loved her. The page went viral. Next thing, she opened a small fitness studio in Abuja, Mama Six-Pack Fitness Hub, for new mothers who wanted to feel beautiful again, and for people who are overweight. She became a star. And guess who came crawling back one day? Yes, Michael, with potbelly, with his slay queen girlfriend who now looked like someone that was tired of slaying and just wanted to sleep. Grace was helping a client stretch when she heard someone clear their throat. She turned around and nearly dropped her water bottle. There he was, Michael, her ex-husband, looking like someone who had swallowed a small generator. His potbelly was confidently leading the way, and beside him stood a lady who kept rolling her eyes like she was allergic to the air. Grace blinked. "Michael?" Michael smiled, looking nervous. "Grace, wow, is this you? You look human?" Grace finished for him with a raised brow. Michael chuckled awkwardly. No, you look amazing, like a model. This place is yours." The lady beside Michael hissed and whispered loudly, "Can we go already?" This place smells like sweat and self-esteem. Grace gave her a sweet smile. Don't worry, darling. Some people come here to lose weight. Others come to lose attitude. Michael quickly stepped in. Grace, please, I want to register. I've added some weight and she says I snore like a cement mixer. I need help. Grace almost burst into laughter, but she maintained her cool. Of course, we help everybody here, even those who left their wives and now want to lose weight to impress their Instagram girlfriend. The new girlfriend turned red. Michael signed up. Day 1, he couldn't even touch his toes. He sweated like a goat in a barbecue stand. Grace watched him struggle through jumping jacks, squats, and something called the plank of shame. Her trainers gave him a nickname, Uncle Roundabout. He kept showing up though, panting and groaning. But every time he looked at Grace, it was like he was seeing her for the first time. She was graceful, funny, strong, and confident. She laughed loud now. She smiled often. She walked like she owned the road, even in gym slippers. And then it hit him. He had fumbled. Big time. One evening, after a killer workout, Michael walked up to her and said, Grace, I know I messed up. I left you when you needed me the most, and now I want to make it right. Grace sipped her smoothie slowly. You want to make it right? Yes, I want my family back. She looked him up and down. Okay, first of all, continue your workout. Let's see if we can find your neck again. Michael laughed, but Grace didn't. I'm serious. He nodded quickly. Yes, anything. I'll do anything. Grace leaned closer and whispered, Therapy, weekly, every Thursday. I need to see proof. Michael blinked. What? Therapy, she said. You want to fix your life? Start there, because I'm not fixing a broken pipe with my piece. Michael nodded again, wiping sweat from his forehead. Okay, I'll do it. Good, Grace said. Also, I hope you don't mind being called Uncle Roundabout for a while. It's a name of honor around here. He laughed. She didn't. Michael showed up at Grace's house with confidence. His shirt was tucked in, his hair was neatly brushed, and he smelled like coconut oil and fresh hope. In his hand was a box of cupcakes with I'm sorry written in shaky icing. Grace opened the door and looked at him from head to toe. She let him in. He sat on the couch like a student waiting to check exam results. She sat opposite him, arms folded. I've lost weight, Michael said. I've been going for therapy. I even cried during one session. Grace raised her brow. You cried? Real tears or man tears? What's the difference? Man tears dry before they drop, but continue. Michael smiled, but inside he was shaking. Look, Grace, I know I messed up. I was selfish. I was blind. I didn't see your pain. I want to do better now. I want us back. She tilted her head. You want us back? Yes. Oh, okay, she said, standing up slowly. So you think that losing a few kilograms and crying once qualifies you for a restart? He frowned a little. Well, not just that. I've changed. All right, Mr. Changed Man, let's test that. Give me your phone. Michael froze. What? Your phone. Unlock it. He swallowed, wiped imaginary sweat from his forehead and handed it over. She opened it. First thing she saw was a chat from his gym friend that said, That woman's still fine-o. You better marry her again before another person collects her. Grace looked at him slowly. So I'm now a giveaway item? No, it's just guy talk. Tell your guy to stop talking like a radio without filter, she said, handing the phone back. Michael laughed awkwardly. Okay, that's done. So, where do we go from here? She leaned back. Oh, you think that was it? You're cute, you really are. But no, that was just stage 1. Michael looked like a tired contestant on a reality show. There's more? She nodded. You want me back? Then you'll keep going. Next, therapy continues, weekly, and you'll be giving me summaries. Summaries? Yes, I want to see what you're learning. If you're going to be my man again, you'll need to have wisdom and sense, not just muscles. That week, he sent her a voice note after therapy. Today I learned that saying sorry is not the same as changing behavior. Also learned that love is a daily decision, not a feeling. By the second week, Michael was already trying to sound like a philosopher. Then one day, Grace handed him a small list. "What's this?" he asked. "You're going to say sorry, properly, to the people who saw me cry." Michael blinked. "Like who?" "My friends, my mother, even Junior." His mouth opened. "Your mother? That woman almost poured hot rice on me last time." "She spared you, but now if you're serious, you'll go back." And so he did. At her mum's house, he sat like someone awaiting judgment. He held his cap in both hands and said, "I'm sorry, Ma." Her mum looked him up and down and replied, "I didn't hear good afternoon. Start again." After the apology, she served him food, plain white rice, no stew. "This one is for forgiveness level 1, she said. Back home, Michael told Grace, "That was hard, but I did it. I apologized to everyone." She smiled. "Good. So now we work on reconnecting with Junior." Michael sighed. "I thought we were already reconnecting. Number you've only reconnected with your conscience." So she told him to take Junior to school for 2 weeks straight, pack his lunch, help with homework, and most importantly, no shouting. The first day, Michael burned the toast, spilled cereal on the floor, and wore Junior's backpack by mistake. Junior looked at him and said, "Daddy, are you sure you're okay?" But by the second week, they were laughing together in the car. Junior even told Grace, "Daddy is not so bad. He can't cook, but he knows how to open Capri Sun properly." Michael, thinking he was finally near the finish line, showed up at Grace's house with flowers, a big grin, and a book titled Love After Betrayal. "I've read 3 relationship books," he said proudly. "I even underlined things." Grace took the book, flipped through the pages, and said, "Nice. You missed chapter 6. That's the one that talks about emotional maturity." He groaned. "Is there an end to this?" She looked at him seriously. "Michael, when you left me, you didn't just hurt me. You made me question myself, my worth, my sanity. You can't just fix that with flowers and exercise. You want me back? Then you have to show me that I'm worth fighting for. Day by day." He sat down quietly, the smile gone. "Okay, I'll wait. I'll do the work. I'm not going anywhere." And she softened. Just a little. She stood up, cut the flowers and put them in a vase. Then she turned to him and said, "All right, you can stay for dinner, but you're washing the plates." He grinned. "Deal." As he followed her to the kitchen, Junior peeked from the hallway with a curious smile and said softly, "Daddy, if you need help, I can show you where we keep the sponge." Michael laughed, walked over and ruffled his hair. "Thanks, buddy, but tonight I think I've got this." If you've been enjoying this story so far, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter. Your support means the world to me. And hey, thank you for being here. You're not just a viewer, you're part of this beautiful little family we're building. Stay kind, stay hopeful, and never forget, good things are coming your way.